Good evening, everyone. Thank you for sticking around or for tuning in. This is Getting Familiar with me, Lady Stars and Fire. We are going to be discussing all things spirit animal related. But before I go into any of that, before I go into spirit guides, any specific animals, power animals, familiars, how to find your connections, any of that, I want to say something that I find is very important. Legends are lessons. See, a very important Native American man said, all animals are smarter than we are. And that is very true because every animal spirit has a legend behind it. And that is the lesson that they bring you, the power medicine that they bring you. All of this is meant to help you. And this is why it is important to know your spirit animals, whether they are a guide, whether they are a power animal and a totem, or a familiar. It is good to know this information because you never know who or what is going to show up and what that legend of that animal is got to teach you or to lend you in power. This is why it is so important. But before we can really get into what any of these animals are and what they do for us, we have to first understand that we can never prejudge any of our animals. And we don't get to choose our animals either. See, they choose us at the exact perfect right time in our life for the reasons that we need them because we need their messages at that time. We need their lessons at that time. This is why we don't choose the animals that come into our life as spirit animals. Because if we did choose them, well, we wouldn't be getting the correct information that we need, now would we? This is why they choose us. They know more than we do, and they always will. That's the wildness in them, which we have lost along the way. We never want to prejudge an animal by its appearance because sometimes the most tiniest of animals have the biggest medicine to teach us. Then we need to understand how is it that we come across our connections? How is it that we meet our guides? How is it that we find them? How is it that we learn from them? How is it that we pick up their energy and we gain their power, even if it's only a temporary amount of time? How is it that any of this happens? Well, typically, you usually hear of meeting your animals in dreams, in meditation, in shamanic journeys. But that's not the only way it can happen. See, it can happen in your day to day daily life, your physical life, the physical world, your reality. It can happen. See, but if you're not shown how to be aware, then you're not going to recognize the signs. And if you can't recognize the signs, synchronicity and that being able to continuously come into your life and help you through spirit can't happen. This is why I wanted to do this radio show. I think it is important for us all to know about the animals and how to connect with spirit, especially animal spirits. Now, so how do we know when an animal spirit is trying to communicate with us in the physical world, in our everyday life? How do we know this? Really, it's actually quite simple. But typically, the simple is what gets overlooked. And this is where we need to learn how to be aware so that we don't overlook this. I tell everybody all the time, if an animal comes into your life and it is not part of your day-to-day daily life, then it is a message. That all has something to do with synchronicity, with oneness, with universal energies all coming together. I can't explain that. That's above my level of understanding. But I do know when it is a message. See, I remind people all the time, yes, animals can come into your physical life, but just because you have a pet does not mean that that is ever going to be your physical messages coming through in spiritual nature to help you. Spirit is never going to use something that you see every single day on your daily life, your regular routine. They are not going to use your pet as something to look at for a spiritual message because you're never going to see it that way, honey. They have to use something that's out of the ordinary, something that's going to catch your eye, something that's going to make you notice it, just enough to be like, odd. Well, that's just odd. And that right there, that is where the message is coming in. They are very simple, but easily to be overlooked. One of the best ways I use to explain to people is, okay, so how often do you see a raccoon at your trash can? Most of the time, you're not going to see a raccoon at your trash can. That's typically because the only way that raccoon showed up is because in synchronicity, in the universal energies, somehow spirit knew that whatever that medicine is that that raccoon has, you needed to hear. But it's your responsibility to be able to be aware, recognize the signs, and then look into what they are. That's when it's up to you to Google it and find out what that medicine is, what that medicine is for you. Will that teaching bring you anything? Where is it that it could help you? Another way, another thing that I always tell everyone, say you're living in the city and what spirit has decided you need to hear is bear medicine. Well, you're not going to come across a bear in the city now, are you? No, that's just not going to happen. But you could be living in the city. You could be in a store. You could purchase something, and on that box could have a bear on it. I don't know. It could be a cartoon character of a bear. I don't know. But then you could leave the store, be driving down the road, no big deal, just driving along, and you notice a bumper sticker that has a bear on it. Now, maybe a little bit later, the next day or even that evening, you're having a conversation with somebody and they're telling you about their camping trip and how a bear showed up. Well, you just had bear come to you 3 different times. So how much more is it that you really need before you can start to get the clue? Spirit is trying to give you a message. It only came to you 3 different times. Sure, it's not alive. Sure, it wasn't a real bear. But come on, you got to give Spirit some kind of a break. Spirit can only do so much. They can do a lot, and they can go out of their way and make anything happen. Yes, but at the same time, they can only do so much. It is up to you to be responsible enough to realize and put it into perspective that, hey, maybe I need to figure out what Spirit is telling me. Let me go look this stuff up and see if I can get the messages from them. Strangely, it really is just that simple. I mean, they can communicate to you that simply, but we have to be aware and look it up. Otherwise, we're not going to get that information. Okay, so now that we've come to realize they can come into our physical life, we can start to have information communicated to us in both our physical life as well as in our dreams and shamanic journeys and meditation. So they can come to us in many different ways. But now, before we go any further, and before we start looking at animals directly, we've got to look at, well, what exactly is spirit animals? What are they? Well, a spirit animal presents life's lessons to us. It brings us lessons. It teaches us what we need to know. This is why it shows up at the exact right time. It's a teacher. It's going to show us through its own unique natural ability and skills how to deal with and to bring manifestations into our life for our very own journey, how that will work for us. It is giving us or lending us its lessons. It's lending us what it already has learned and messed up with. It is lending us how to correctly move forward, how maybe we're not viewing a situation correctly. But if we choose to perceive it from a different direction, maybe everything will fall into place. This is the lessons that an animal spirit brings you. It is there to guide you in the form of lessons. Very commonly misunderstood, though, is the difference between your totem, your power animals, and that spirit animal. See, a totem animal is an animal that you call upon or you invoke individually or as a group, and you are doing it to bring you the special power and the survival skills of that animal. That animal, your totem, your power animal, is there to serve as a guardian, as a protector when you are facing adversity. So, the main difference between power animals, your totem animals, is because they are going to give you special power. They're going to help you receive that special power and those survival instincts, that energy that they need. They are going to be with you to help give you that as you need it while you are facing adversity. But yet, a spirit guide is teaching you life's lessons. So, one is teaching you lessons, one is a protector and a guardian. That is very big information for you to know so that you can understand what that message is, what medicine, what guidance, what power they are bringing you. Because when you're not sure what they are, that makes it harder for you to comprehend exactly what it is they're there for and how they are there to help you. Now, on the other hand, we have familiars. Familiars are often only heard of in shamanism work or in witchcraft. A familiar is a spiritual entity that appears in animal form and is a facilitator in the communion of spirit and human realm. It is the go-between. More or less, the familiar is the helper who understands the common objectives and is there to assist, to plan, to help you achieve those objectives. But a familiar is neutral. A familiar is not on your side. It's not on your side. A familiar is on its own side. That's kind of where that joke comes in with familiars. Not always so helpful. That's because it's up to them. It's on their own will. Are they going to help or not? Why, sure. They sure can. But they don't always do it. Sometimes they're just not really feeling like being so helpful. But see, in that act alone, that act from the familiar teaches us what we need to remember about all spirit animals. See, the fact that they are helping us, the fact that we are able to receive that message, we need to remember to always be grateful, to always show gratitude. Spirit is very big on gratitude when they are helpful. They would like to be known that they are helping. It's that simple. The more that you say thank you, the more that you show gratitude, the more they're also going to be willing to help you more and more, especially when they are animals that are going to stick around. See, because not all spirit animals stick around. Sometimes you've learned all the lesson you need, and so it's no longer needed right now, at least in your life. And then there's also the opposite. Sometimes it's the same thing repeated over and over and over and over again. And this is actually becoming a shadow animal. And the reason it's becoming a shadow animal is because you're not learning your lesson. You're not getting it. Whatever it is that it's trying to teach you, for some reason, you're not getting it. And when they keep repeating themselves and not going away, that's when they start to turn into a shadow animal, as what we call them. But typically, when you learn your lessons from your spirit animals, they typically go until it's time for you to learn another lesson and they are needed again. This is why you end up with more than one. This is why they come and go. Although your power animals will always be there for you. This is because they are guardians. They are protectors. Okay, so now we have gone over the fact of what are spirit animals in general, what different kinds of animals we typically see and deal with, as well as how we communicate with them and what some of that can mean for us because now we understand what those animals are versus how we communicate with them in general. Is it physical? Is it in our meditations? Is it in our journeys? So forth. With this understanding, we can now start to move into what actual animals are and some of the meanings behind them. I started off today by choosing the firefly, the lightning bug. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. See, I think that should be the anthem for the firefly or the lightning bug. The reason I say that is because the lightning bug itself reminds us of the dream of youth, of children's magic. And you know why? Because children haven't forgotten how to believe. That's something that we lose so easily right now in this world because there's so much negativity and we have to always be working at being positive that we sometimes forget how to believe. But children, it's like in their makeup, it's part of playing. And that is exactly what the firefly is doing. It twinkles in and out of our life just as quickly as breathing for us. It shows up at night and it just twinkles and it's singing its little song to its own little drum underneath the moonlight. It's all mysterious and beautiful, and then it's gone. Kind of like a dream, don't you think? Okay, we've got to take a few minutes here and take some time for our sponsors, but we will be right back real soon.
Since 2014, the Pagan Business Network has been building resources by bringing together pagan-owned and pagan-friendly businesses. With multiple resources available, it doesn't matter if you're an artisan, musician, vendor, author, publishing company, blogger, podcaster, event planner, or any other organization. We have the resources here to help you succeed. Becoming a member is easy and affordable, even for the smallest of budgets. With your membership, you will get Business Spotlight, which is an article written in an interview style, complete with details and photos. Social media sharing through the Pagan Business Network. A blog roll. A membership card for discounts at participating businesses. You'll also get discounts on tickets to all Pagan Business Network events and so much more. You can check us out at paganbusinessnetwork.com for more information. Looking for that special item for your mantle or that one-of-a-kind gift for the love of your life? Visit us at Sleeping Griffin. We offer many items from pyrography to metaphysical supplies. Choose one of our regular designs on a keepsake box, crystal grid, or even design your own. Need a little help with your practice? Choose from our selection of organic, hand-mixed binding salts. Come and see our Etsy shop at Sleeping Griffin or visit our website at sleepinggriffin.net, where spirituality and functionality come together.
Okay, so we are back, and this is Getting Familiar with me, Lady Stars and Fire. Right before we took off for the break, we were talking about the firefly, the lightning bug. And we were talking about how the lightning bug brings to us the dream of youth, children's magic, and how it is children's magic because children haven't forgotten how to believe. That's so easy to lose and not be able to do anymore these days, to simply believe. As adults, we get stuck in our adult life, our responsibilities, our burdens, balance. We forget to be playful. Playful is where believing comes from. And believing is what the firefly does best than anything. The firefly has light from within it. It has the ability to illuminate, to glow, to shine. It has the ability to make you notice it. See, I don't know about everybody out there, but I know many people out there, when they were a child, or they've had children, or they have friends who have children, and they've experienced the event of the children running around with the mason jar, chasing the lightning bug, not actually wanting to keep it, not actually wanting to keep it as a pet, to save it, to harm it, to hurt it, or anything. All they wanted to do was capture it. And they wanted to capture it for one reason, and one reason only, because it lights up, it illuminates, it glows, it shines, it does something we cannot. And for that reason, we try to capture it so we can watch it, and then we let it go. See, that very act says so much. That very act, and that most of us have done that, have tried to at least catch it, at least as a child, says so much about us as human beings. It reminds us just how important it is for each and every one of us to want to find our own special place, our own ability to shine and glow and be seen. That is the ability within you to want and yearn and know, to need, to fulfill the desire and the right to be seen for exactly who and what you are. It is the ability to glow and illuminate again. It's simple, baby. We want to remember how to do it again. This is why the firefly is so illuminating to us. It brings us lessons of how to bring freedom to spirit itself, how to bring freedom to it. It reminds us to let our heart lead the way and to shine for all to see. Reminding us also of the dark side. See, because the firefly only lights up in the dark. During the day, it's a normal, ordinary creature. During the day, it looks like any other insect. You wouldn't think of it to be majestic and magical. You just think of it as another insect. You would never know that it lit up if you did not already know. If you did not already know the power that comes from it. See, this is why from in the darkness, it reminds us there is always light to be found, even if it has to be found from within us. There is always light to be found, and we can glow as bright as we need to, as long as we can figure out how to do it within ourselves. Because sometimes you are going to have darkness in your life, and the only light you're going to be able to find is knowing that you are the illuminating spirit that brings you through it. It sets the sights high, and it reminds you nothing is impossible. Now, see, the firefly has so many different meanings, and they're all wonderful. I'm going to go over some of them, symbolic meanings, with you. It is illuminating, obviously. Hope, energy, guidance, patience, new ideas, attraction, efficiency, creativity, awakening, inspiration, and aspiration. So this is some of the medicine that the firefly brings to us. It brings to us the lessons in these areas, or the power, or the medicine to move forward in our life when we need it, if we can remember to use it to help us move forward. Did you know that the firefly uses its light for mating ceremonies with light signals that are very precise and timed in order to attract the right mate? Now, realize I just said the right mate. Not just a mate, the right mate. See, to us, that reminds us to attract what we want in our life, to manifest what we want in our life, whether it is people or places or even things. We have to set down the groundwork. We have to plan properly. We have to be persistent. And most importantly, we have to know when to light up and be seen and when not. What are you bringing to you in your life? That might be the question if you have Firefly around. Maybe it's helping you understand some of what you might be attracting may not be what you want. So this is part of understanding. This is where that groundwork comes in, that planning. If you want to have the right mates in your life, well, you have to attract the right mates. Same goes with just in general, people and places. There are people out there who are not going to do you well, and only you can be smart enough to know who to let in and who not. Of course, we're always supposed to be loving, but we have to be honest. There are those out there who are not going to do nice by us, and only us can take care of us, and we have to choose who we attract, who we are manifesting into our life, what is and is not acceptable. This is what Firefly is teaching us. Along with that, it is teaching us that our physical appearance is only one thing. It's being judged again. Our physical appearance only gives off one idea of us. It does not show our spirit, our soul. It is not the internal belonging that is within us that is what shines. This is reminding us appearance is not always what you may think it may be. In this very same note, it is showing us that within us we are the illuminating power of life. We are the illuminating power of life. We have the igniting passion for our own inner fires. That's why it is important as to what it is you are attracting. It is your inner fires, and you have the ability to illuminate the power of your own life. See, I just love the Firefly. There's just so much energy, such good, clean energy that you can get from the Firefly. Another thing that you probably did not know is the Firefly, it doesn't produce heat. That little light that comes from within it, that little light that lights up, it doesn't produce any heat at all. But it reminds us that the Firefly doesn't have to burn the candle at both ends. It reminds us creativity from within should be a free and natural and easy going thing. There is no need to burn the candle at both ends to achieve your goals. If you are doing so, then your creativity is low and you're not going to succeed at your goals very well anyway. This is why it's teaching us this. Creativity also equals balance in this area. It doesn't need heat. It brings it from within itself. In people terms, that is your inner fire. You're bringing it from within yourself. So what are you bringing? Are you treating yourself well enough to bring what you should be bringing? Our Firefly also reminds us that it does not eat very much. It actually eats very little. It uses its environment in effective ways to help it with its own energy. That is reminding us of our own health habits as well. Not to mention that it is also reminding us of environmental habits. It reminds us to use the resources that are already there, that we already have available to us, not to waste or to consume what is unnecessary. So, our friendly Firefly not only is a guide in reminding us how to be earth friendly but also soul friendly. See, the firefly, our lightning bug, it brings us magical power, and it is of believing that nothing is impossible. So we can believe in the infinite flow of resources available to us through illumination, through creativity, through energy, through inspiration, and able to manifest our dreams of our heart and into abundance. So again, I say, what is there not to love about the firefly? Or maybe you call it the lightning bug. Either way, what is there not to love? It has such wonderful energy. So now let's flip the script. We've gone from flying in the air. So now let's go to land and sea. We're going to talk about the turtle, the turtles, sea turtles as well as land turtles and small turtles. Did you know that the oldest turtle right now, if I'm right, is 183 years old? Not many things live to be that old. So this is bringing us major ancient wisdom, because not many things have been around that long, even if it's a turtle. Turtles speak to us of walking our path, walking it in peace, with determination, with serenity, showing us how to work through our emotional and spiritual development as it happens over bursts of time. Like I said, the turtle, the oldest one that I believe we have right now, is 183 years old. That's a long time to be living and a lot of development to be learning. The turtle is able to bring us inner wisdom because of its long life, its long journey. So therefore, it brings us not only inner wisdom, but ancient wisdom, teaching us to go inside of ourselves, search deeply for the answers. And it allows us to open ourselves up to the magical realm of imagination and intuition, where anything can be possible. So some of the animal medicine that we receive from the turtle is longevity, navigational skills, survival skills, grounding energy, determination, persistence, emotional strength, and understanding, ancient wisdom, obviously, slow down and pace yourself, as well as details. Did you know Native American folklore, Hindu, and Chinese cultures all have it said that the turtle carries the weight of the continent on its back? The turtle is actually viewed as carrying Mother Earth itself, the earth, holding it and the entire world as we know it in balance on the turtle's back. If turtle has a spiritual connection in your life, this is very fortunate for you, because turtle is viewed so strongly with earth in general. It is saying that you are going to be more in tuned with the elements naturally. It's just natural for you. Any place will be comfortable and natural for you, as well as being in tune with the elements, with the land, with the plants, with the animals, with people. It's all going to be more commonly easier on you than it would be maybe on anybody else. And this is because that animal of turtle is a spirit animal that is with you. The turtle is actually viewed as sacred, not just ancient. And it comes with such a calming, peaceful energy. It's been here, it seems, forever. It seems to have known Earth longer than any animal that seems to still walk, basically. It lives so long that how could it not? See, it is also known for its navigational skills. They are associated with our physical and our embodiment of the evolution on the earth plane. This makes calling upon Turtle for anyone who needs help with grounding energies a great staple for you, a great energy point, a great borrowing of energy to help and just learn more about turtles and understand them and possess that energy into you, even if it isn't a spirit animal for you. I mean, it will not hurt to look into it if you have problems with grounding. This animal is going to be like your concrete. It's going to be like, I'm going to make you stick to the ground and we're going to get along just fine now. As well as teaching you, if you need help in this area, just to slow down. Sometimes we need to slow down and pace ourselves. Sometimes that's exactly one of the things that the turtle is trying to teach us. Slow down and pace yourself. Because otherwise, moving too fast makes you miss things, makes you forget things. By slowing down and moving at a simple pace that is calming on you, you can move forward more confidently without having made errors. Oh, come on. Who does not need some of that energy in your life? Every once in a while, we all are too much of a busybody and we are just running about trying to get things done, trying to take care of the children, trying to get them off to soccer, trying to get back home, trying to make supper, trying to take care of everything else that we have to take care of, and as well do our own homework that we need to do if we're in school or just chores around the house. It's easy to be forgetful. It's easy to miss things. It is easy to not be able to keep up. But when we follow the medicine the ancient turtle has to teach us, we slow down. We get things right. We also enjoy life more. See, turtle doesn't just teach you to slow down. Turtle also teaches us that there is no destination. There is no destination that has to be made, period. Only a journey. This reminds us to enjoy life, to enjoy the ride. Don't be so busybody that we make so many mistakes. It's capable to still move slowly and get the job done. Just like I was saying earlier with Firefly, we don't want to burn our candle out at both ends. Just here, we're coming from a more slow, grounded, calming, mature state of mind. It is still slowing down. It's not slowing down to a stop. It's slowing down to pay attention to what is important to you, period. Getting it right, period. Enjoying life, period. And not making mistakes so that you're living with regrets. See, turtles are all about teaching us to walk peacefully and have serenity so we can trust the process. Okay, we've got to take another few minutes here. It's time for our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
The Raven's Rune is a spiritual resource center where you will find magical things for magical people. Handcrafted candles, incense, essential oil blends, and amazing hand-tooled custom leather goods. Check out their Wheel of the Year candle and incense packs. Each Sabbat has its own special blend, made during the correct moon phases by a practicing British traditional witch, to give your magic a boost. Using her knowledge and expertise, these products don't just smell good, they work. And you'll love the hand-tooled leather goods, Book of Shadows, journals, bracers, candle mats, and many other ritual tools. You'll revel in the magical feel of old-world craftsmanship. They also offer unique psychic readings. Liz is a talented sensitive. Her insightful readings are unique and come from many years of experience of working in the psychic and paranormal fields. Her compassion and empathy with clients make her readings truly meaningful. Let a consultation with this talented clairvoyant help you through the difficulties in your life and find the path to achieving your goals. So, if you're looking for unique and genuine magical wares and tools, be sure to check them out on Facebook at The Raven's Rune. or visit the website where you can see all their wonderful offerings. The Raven's Rune, www.theravensrune.ca. Have you been searching for that perfect candle for your project or working? How about for a specific intent? Something other than the big box store candles made from mystery wax? Then look no further. Visit the Waxing Witch on Etsy for the best selection of handcrafted candles anywhere. Pillars, votives, shaped, plus some giftable candles you won't believe. All their candles are made in-house using a variety of waxes: soy, palm, beeswax, paraffin, and all are clearly noted in the listing, so there's no mystery wax here. From a whole line of saints candles to archangel working candles, and you have to see the new Wicked Wonderland spell candles. They're made to work wickedly quick and wonderfully easy. Or the fun new Sanderson sister pillars. Those are a hoot. And I can't forget their skull candles. These are phenomenal. The burn is beautiful, and I really won't work a trick without one. But that's not all. Any candle can be customized with a scent of your choice, or even color if you prefer something different. They love special orders and will work with you to make your candle the way you want it. They do unity candles, hand fasting candles, or candles made for events, so don't hesitate to ask. You won't find folks easier to deal with, and they all come from their little shop on a Louisiana bayou. So do yourself a favor. Check them out on Etsy at The Waxing Witch. That's The Waxing Witch, witch spelled W-Y-T-C-H. Tell them PBNR sent you for a little surprise with your order.
Okay, everybody, and we are back. This is Getting Familiar with me, Lady Stars and Fire, and we are talking about the turtle and its wisdom. The turtle teaches us all about determination despite obstacles and distractions that are in our life. It's teaching us to listen deeply to our inner guidance and trust in that inner guidance. Trust in the path, no matter what. Did you know that a turtle has more trust than I think any of us human beings have ever had in anything in our entire life? I'm sorry, a lot of us have a lot of faith, but what a turtle does, a sea turtle does, is just, that's some amazing, infinite trust. A sea turtle will get into the water and allow the tide to take it away. Simply as that. Just allow the tide to take it away. Pull itself into its shell, and it does absolutely nothing but trust that it's going to be delivered where it needs to be delivered. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long it's out at sea, no matter how long it's floating, it has trust that it is going to be okay and that it will be delivered where it needs to be delivered, and that will be the opportunity of its next journey. Okay, let's face it, we all have some trust issues. That's what this world has done to us, and we're learning how to be better about it. But to have that kind of trust, that kind of faith, to just let the water take me away and then I'm going to be okay and I'm not going to drown and I'll be delivered where I'm supposed to be delivered, that is amazing to me. That is not just amazing to me, but to anything, that anything could be able to put that much faith in something. See, this is part of that ancient wisdom. This is part of that ancient teaching that the turtle is trying to teach us. Enjoy the ride. That there is absolutely no destinations. No destinations. The only thing is the journey in life. To enjoy that ride, to trust in the flow of that energy and the blessings being bestowed upon you, and that they are on their way with abundance. That is some major trust issues of being able to. I don't know any human being who can trust anything that much, including your gods or your spirit animals. But that is what this animal is trying to teach us. And that is just flat out amazing to me. This, quite honestly, is being taught serenity, completely letting go and believing. That is hard to do. Not too many people are able to let go of things that they knew last week. Nonetheless, let go that everything is going to be okay. But you know what? The idea of that is absolutely beautiful. There isn't a more beautiful thought that we can just be able to actually let go. Let go of everything. Let go of every question, every concern, every fear, every worry. Just let go and completely, totally surrender. And that you're going to know that it's all going to be okay. No questions asked. See, that's not just surrender. That is absolute peace, and peace within yourself, as well as peace within the universe. No more worries. I truthfully do not believe that there is a better lesson that could be taught, a greater power to be borrowed from an animal, a survival skill to have been learned or also borrowed from an animal. I don't think that a better one could be taught to us, but I do believe it would be very difficult to achieve. Although I do believe it would be a glorious act to try to achieve. Did you also know that the turtle's shell is also symbolic of the heavens, while its body is symbolic of earth, and its undershell is symbolic of the underworld, so covering all of it. Strangely, just like they say, as above, so below. I found that quite interesting when I came across that piece of information. I thought it was worth sharing. The turtle is also known for having very few predators, which gives it the innocence of energy, which allows it also to increase its lifespan, making it known for having its longevity. And the last thing that I'm going to say about the turtle today is going to be another situation of, did you know? The turtle, it buries its eggs in the sand, showing us that sometimes we need to aid the growth of our delicate ideas before bringing them forth and into the light. Bringing us our last reminder of the day, that it may seem sometimes that there is too much to do, that when we started a situation, a project, a chore, that everything was good and that we were going to be capable of it all. Yet, when it comes time to finish, we find we're not quite capable of handling all of it at that time. This is that last reminder. It's time to call on Turtle, because the turtle can help you through this, as it always reminds us to slow down and take it easy. We'll get through it, and we'll get through it just fine. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me tonight and talking about the animal spirits. Always remember that whenever there is an animal spirit that appears, it is signaling it is a time to connect with your true spirit and your true purpose in life. Because all too often, we don't know what our purpose is. We're just trying to figure out how to get by in our day-to-day, daily lives. But, again, the more we connect with spirit, the closer to the truth we always become. Because spirit is always going to be there to help us, guide us, teach us, and serve us so that we can find who we truly are, what we're truly meant to be, and what our purpose is, so we can fulfill that. Okay, anyway, I think we covered a lot today. I think we went over quite a bit. We went over what spirit animals are, how they present life lessons to us, how they are there to show us through their own unique natural skills as well as survival skills how to deal with and manifest our own journeys into our life to make what we want to have happen. Create it as we see fit in the best way possible. They teach us, they provide us with lessons and show us where maybe we're not doing something quite right. But if we see it through a different point of view, we can start to learn a better way of going about doing it. We are also being shown, we also went over totem animals, which is also our power animal. And what the difference there is how that animal is there, that we can invoke them, we can call upon them for their special power, for their survival skills. They lend that energy to us to help us in our lives when we are facing adversity. Because a power animal is actually a protector, is actually a guardian, where a spirit animal is a teacher and it provides life lessons. This is so commonly misunderstood and confused with people. We also went over familiars and how often, quite simply, familiars are not as commonly known as your spirit animals, your spirit guides, your totems, because familiars are typically only known in circles of shamanism or witchcraft, and that a familiar truly is a spiritual entity that appears in animal form as a facilitator in the communion of human and spirit realms. Basically, long story short, it helps understand the common objective and assists to plan to achieve that objective. But again, familiars have their own personality. Familiars are neutral. So they're not on your side, they're not on their side. They're just kind of on their side, and it depends on how they feel, really, if they feel like participating and helping out and taking part in what it is we're wanting to do. That's where that whole joke, like I said earlier, comes from. Familiars, not always so helpful. We are reminded, just like with human beings, you don't judge a book by its cover. An animal can mean a whole lot more than what you may prejudge it to be by its image from what you see. Just because it may be small does not mean that it does not have very big messages, like the firefly did today. But that also does not mean just because it's big that it has small messages. Never assume that you know what the messages are unless you have been taught those messages and you've learned them and they're part of your life. Then, of course, will you know them then? But otherwise, it's just like anybody else in this world. You don't want to prejudge anybody without truly knowing who they are, because you're not giving soul a chance to speak up. We also went over how spirit animals can come in many different ways into our life. They can present themselves in so many different ways to bring their messages to us. And that means different things. We can get them in our dreams. We can get them in meditation. We can get them in shamanic journeys. And those are all very powerful and wonderful ways to meet as well as spend time with your spirit guides, with the animals that are in your life, whether they are a spirit guide, a power animal, whatever it is that they are teaching you, that they have to lend you in power, that lesson. But more importantly, I always want to make sure to go over and over and over with people. This is why I'm doing the recap right now, because you do not only deal with your spirit animals and your spirit guides in journeying, in meditation, and in dreams. You also deal with them in your everyday, day-to-day, daily lives. It is completely possible for them to come into your life and have a lesson for you. But again, that all has to do with you being taught how to be aware to see those signs. And if you're seeing those signs, then obviously, yes, you're going to start having that connection and you're going to start to get that information. And the signs that they are giving you teach you what you need to know. But again, if you are not aware of how to see those signs, or you turned in really late after the show started, let's go over that one last time. Sometimes in the physical world, animals, they can come to you in your real life, your physical world, your everyday, day-to-day life. But the thing is, it's not going to come in a thing that you're used to every single day. Your pet is not going to be where spirit is going to use to communicate with you because it's not something out of the ordinary. Like I said, every day in your day-to-day daily life, spirit can communicate with you, but they are not going to choose an animal that you see in your everyday day-to-day daily life, such as your pet. That's not going to be where they're going to choose to communicate. But if you was outside and a raccoon, just like I said before earlier in the show, happened to be hanging out by the trash cans, well, that's just not something you see every day. So that's when it's telling you, hey, I'm an odd thing. This is what I need to pay attention to. Look, it's a clue. Let me go and Google the animal medicine and see what that might have to say to me, because spirit is trying to talk to me. And then again, maybe you live in the city. Maybe the animal medicine that they're trying to get to you, like I said earlier, was a bear. Well, again, you're not going to have a bear come to you out in the city now, are you? No, that's just not going to happen. But spirit has the ability to do anything to get attention without necessarily having to use a live animal. They can still bring that bear to you in the city, just not in a live animal. Say you're in a grocery store and you purchased something at the store, and when you got up there to pay for it, you notice on the box there's a bear on it. I don't know, maybe it's a cartoon bear. I don't know. But you left, no big deal. You know, you got a bear on some box. Who cares at this point? And then you're driving down the road and you see there's a bear on a bumper sticker. Hello, now you're seeing bear twice. Now maybe later on that night or even the next day, your friend and you are having a conversation and they bring up how maybe they went camping not too long ago and there was a bear. Well, hello, bear, 1, 2, 3 times. How many more times do you need for spirit to go, hey, I'm sending you a bear? That doesn't mean it has to be an animal form, real life living. You gotta cut spirit some slack sometime. They can go out of their way to really fill in some blanks for you and help you. But if you don't have the ability, the awareness, the recognition to notice when they're trying to talk to you, you're not going to get those messages. But when you've been taught them, you can always hit Google and you can look up that information if you don't know. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed the show. And again, this is Getting Familiar with me, Lady Stars and Fire. Always talking about all things animal spirit related. Have a good one. Hugs and kisses in the wind. See you next week.